The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. W's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by W, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. W's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. W Energy, be better. Are you a fellow car guy? I have a 2008 Ford Mustang GT convertible, and nothing makes me happier in that car than when it's nice and clean. And you know who helps me get there? RevAutoCarCare.com. They help me get that pony looking as nice and shiny and ready for any of the car meetups that are all around the great city of El Paso. Spoil your car and go to RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton and view all the inventory they have and find out what works for you to help make your ride shine. RevAutoCarCare.com/Tipton. Use promo code Tipton33 at checkout to save 15%. We all know there's hundreds of betting sites out there, but don't be fooled. Some sites are legal in some states only. Some sites pay in Bitcoin, and some sites have even been hacked. BetUS, however, has been in business for over 30 years. Future bets are paying out in the thousands, and if you act right now, you can still bet on the biggest games in sports. Visit BetUS.com, or you can click the link at nessp.info. BetUS, check it out and bet responsibly. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com.
Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time for a little fire and ice. Please.
Oh, not know. There's never a good time for fire and ice.
What happens when you mix fire and ice? Warm water, baby. It's bubbling, baby. Warm water. Warm water.
It is time for a little fire and ice. Mike Tipton, Brandon the Iceman Cone, hanging out with you here on a Saturday afternoon. It is high noon, so you know that's the time for us. Brandon, I was looking for our specials. I don't think I brought the specials today.
That's okay.
But I do. I hope you must remember most of them.
I remember that definitely during the NBA Finals, you have great shticks like $4 appetizers, discounted beers, and then, of course, they have the BOGO regular, the buy one, get one. Okay, so here's a shtick, okay? The boneless wings, BOGO on Thursday, straight up BOGO. Okay, and then on Tuesdays, buy one order of wings, get one half off. And of course, they have the all-you-can-eat traditional and boneless wings right now. We did that the other day, and oh my goodness, you almost put them out of business.
It was a fun time for us. We came on out here, and then of course, whenever you talk at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive, you got to remember that not only do they have that buy one, get one, all the BOGO wings Monday through Thursday, they also have the $4 house beer, which is the Wild Herd, the $5 Bud Lights, and then, of course, the $6 Voodoo Rangers over here at Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll have some more specials and all that stuff as we get going here on Fire and Ice. Our guy, Tommy Carranza, saying, what's good, fellas? Real wings are not boneless wings. Just saying. We didn't just have boneless wings the other day.
We had bone-in.
We had bone-in wings the other day. Tommy said that he was proud of me for growing up and actually eating bone-in wings. But that's the cheat code, right? Because the boneless wing gives you more meat, so you're going to get filled up faster. You eat the boneless wing, you're not worried about the bone. You can go through them a little bit more.
Yeah, true. I mean, but a lot of people will argue and say, well, those are just chicken nuggets. I mean, but it makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, ultimately, the bone in that for some reason, I know you love the bone. It gives you more flavor. Ultimately, does it not?
It does. It gives you all of the flavor that you're looking for whenever it comes down to the wings and everything like that. We are over here at Buffalo Wild Wings, once again, 655 Sunland Park Drive, on the west side of El Paso. Tommy Cananza saying that the bone gives the wing all of its flavor. We are going to be joined right here by Austin High School head coach Eric Pichardo, who is joining us here because Brandon the Iceman Cone is one of the people that will always try to get as many friends as possible to be a part of the show. Coach Pichardo, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well. Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. Once again,
yes.
Once again. I was, I believe, I was with you guys last year from a tire station.
That's right.
Yes.
You were on your phone.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes,
It was
yes.
preseason. I think it was August.
Yes, I was.
It was-
and
it was-
then 2 years ago, I was at 2019. I was with you at the Sportsplex. You don't remember, but I was from the dugout. So I've been with you guys from the dugout in the softball, from a tire station,
And now,
and
here
now
at
at
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo freaking Wild Wings.
I was
man.
so excited when I found out you were actually going to bless us with your presence
No.
in person. This is amazing. I mean, I can't believe I'm sitting next to you. You're actually not on a phone right now.
I will say this, the sex appeal of the show has increased tremendously. tremendously.
You're going to make people jealous. I mean, it's like, geez.
I'm used to being the best looking guy here. Now I don't know how to act.
Well, you're the third best looking guy now.
Wow. That's only because Dave was here.
Technically fourth.
Okay, Coach. So you guys had the football season coming up. A great season for y'all last year as well. Thank you so much. The first question that I have for you, though, is how annoying is Brandon the Iceman Cone going to be, knowing that he was a coach for 1 year and then got himself a championship ring in that 1 year?
In many facets of coaching, you gotta either multiply your experience by 5 or 10, or divide by 5 or 10. In this case, with the Iceman, the 1 year that he coached with us, he's probably going to multiply it by 5 or 10 and have brag that he's been coaching for 5. He's been coaching for 5 to 10 years, but he did a real nice job this year. It's not easy coaching in what we call the boot. Okay, Brand, it's something new to you. I've never
Okay.
mentioned the boot. I always
No.
mention it to my coaches and
Okay.
to my
Tell
boot.
me about the boot, please.
The boot is from Jeff to Bowie to Austin to Irvin in the shape of a boot.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
those kids are tough minded. Their mindset, I mean, we deal with so many problems every single day, and you have them as students.
Yep.
Homelessness, no parents, teen pregnancies.
Mhm.
School is number 4 or 5 on the list for them, much less sports. But we coach in the boot. I mean, and I've shared it with other coaches that live or that coach in the boot. It's those are tough places. We're not the West Side schools. We're not the Far East schools. We are the Central to South Side, and those places are very hard to coach. And Brandon, teaches in the boot, and now he coached 1 year, and it's extremely tough because you can get a kid on a Tuesday night for a basketball game not having, slept in his house for 3 days, and you expect him to come down with 20 points and 10 rebounds, and that's not going to happen.
Mhm.
Or it might. That might be the light of his week.
You never know.
You never know, and that's what we have to go by. And unfortunately, we're judged by wins and losses more than anything, and we have to convince these kids to play for us, no matter what the circumstances are behind them or within them.
That feels like it would be like much more rewarding, right? Like, because you're watching the kids struggle with like the hardest type of struggle there is. And whenever they show up and they play, like it could be, because I was that same way, right? Like I grew up down in Socorro. Basketball to me was like home. That was the one place where I knew like I no matter what I did, if I had a good day, it was going to be a great week for me as long as I was on that basketball court, right? So I know what that feeling is like. As a coach, that's got to be super rewarding, right?
Of course, we celebrate every single win because each and every win is very hard to get. Every win at Austin, we celebrate. I don't care who we play. I really don't care, the opponent. because we can lose any given game against anybody based on circumstances. On the flip side, when we win, we celebrate. It doesn't matter who we play, and it's true for football, basketball, baseball. You know, you should have seen our baseball coach. He won a game, and we almost had to get the defibrillator there because he was going crazy after a certain win.
Mhm.
And they're so hard to get at these four schools. And speaking of Socorro, you know, they're if we're the boot, they're the belt buckle over there on them because they're part of it.
Mhm.
You know, they're part of this. I mean, they know, they feel our pain.
Mhm.
You know, and Coach Cano down there, the football coach, we talk a lot because we share the same problems. You know, in
Eligibility.
a program, everything.
Mhm.
Yes, other schools are blessed with 150 to 250 kids. You lose a kid, you put another kid in there. We're not blessed to have that nice luxury,
Mhm.
you know, as the other schools.
But you think about it, though, what a tremendous year. I mean, you go, I believe it was you lost one game to El Dorado all year, won the district championship, reeled off like 10 wins in a row. Amazing year. And of course, basketball wins the district championship, boys basketball for the first time in like 15 years. Of course, I was a big part of that, but but you know, long story, he doesn't even say anything. No, long story short, I mean, basketball and football win district championships at Austin High School. To me, that's just, you know, kind of a tribute to the culture of what people have been able to establish over there at that school.
Absolutely. I mean, we never stop, and we just had the 3 days of practice this week or workouts, strength and skill work. We had to take Monday off only because we had graduation.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to compete with that. So we did, you know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We don't stop because we cannot afford to stop. We can't. If we take a week off, it's more than that at our place because these kids won't, you know, do the skill or the strength work required. Some of them will, don't get me wrong. But out of 60, 70 kids that we have showing up, maybe 5 will do it. The other 60, 65 are counting on us to open up the doors for them on a daily basis.
So I was talking to Tip. You were given an award that no other high school coach has ever received here in El Paso.
I would say he earned an award. Not giving. He earned the
yeah,
award.
he earned the award. I mean, and you know,
It's coach talk now with Coach.
Eric's one of the most humble guys you'll ever
No.
meet in his life. He's your life. He's an amazing guy. He's been a friend of mine for like 8 years. We came to Austin at the same time. So Tom Landry Award, very prestigious high school award here in the state of Texas. The only coach in El Paso to ever win that coveted award. Your thoughts on that?
Well, let me correct you a little bit, Coach Cone. I was nominated.
Okay.
There were 8 of us in the whole state. I represented Region 4, which covers from, let's say, Anthony, Texas over here, all the way to Midland and the Big Spring area.
Okay.
We're Region 4. About 3 of us were nominated. I was fortunate enough to be voted in for the first time in a long, long time over the Odessa Midland Basin. And I was privileged enough to carry that throne, I guess you can say, to compete against the other 7 statewide. Now that was a nomination. I think it was the first time somebody got nominated, and I'm not bragging for one bit because it's an award that it is an award for this area. Now that I'm thrown into against the South Lake Carols of the state and the Nacogdoches people and the Beaumont Westbrooks and the Lubbock Estacados and all those people, I'm not sure if I won or not. Probably not because they haven't called me.
When do you find out?
I don't know.
So
That's
it
the
could
thing.
be
Because
you could never find out.
it's never happened. There was a side joke to this. They told me don't get too excited because there's 60 voting members, and 70 of them don't have any respect for El Paso. So
Well,
it was a running joke to me, and they said it in different ways, but just being nominated to the Tom Landry Award is a thrill, because I represented all the 31 32 football schools here in El Paso, and I had to represent Midland and Odessa. And I'll learn more about this award in about a month because we're all going to coaching school in San Antonio, and I'm gonna meet over there with the Tom Landry people, and they'll tell me more about this award. But because it's never happened here in El Paso, we don't know how it works. I mean, it's a new thing here. It's a brand new thing. So as of this point, it was a nomination. I'm gonna sit down with, just like I'm sitting here with you guys, so they can tell me exactly what that's all about. But yeah, it was more of a nomination. But like I said, first time here in El Paso, and I I can't do it without my people. And when I say my people, it includes my family, my immediate family, and my extended family that we've been together for a long time. And you know them. They're great people.
It's there.
You know, they're super people. But it starts with my family and them. And then the support system is I think I have the best team around, from my wife to my kids to my to my coaching staff. I think I have the best coaching staff in El Paso. I mean, I really do. And we've been what they do, dealing with the kids that we have to deal with. And I know everybody has the kids that we do. We just have more.
Yeah.
And the percentage of problems that we have per team is unreal. I mean, we have assistant principals, counselors, graduation coaches, everybody working with our kids at the same time.
Yep.
And we and to have this nomination, blessed upon me is a thrill. I don't care if I win or not. To me, I won already, and I really don't care about anything else.
You already won because
Yes.
you were nominated. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it's a lot of hard work by a lot of people, not just one.
What was it that made you decide that you wanted to come into coaching? Because just listen to you talk right now, like you have a passion for it, and not just for the X's and O's, which I'm sure are there, but like also the helping of the kids. So what was it that made you decide this is the career that I want to do? Because all three of us have been in the educational system, and I will say, if you know a teacher out there, thank that person, because they've got to be the most patient person in the world. I did it for 3 years, never ever again. Like it will not happen ever again. And I was an elective teacher. I didn't even have to worry about anything. And I was still like, I ain't dealing with all this nonsense. So what was it that made you decide this was the path that you wanted to go?
Well, I'm looking at the time. It's 12:18. I need till about 12:38 to explain it, but I'm gonna summarize it. I'm gonna summarize it. Okay. And I've said this story recently because people have asked me about the Tom Landry and how it got started. Just exactly your question. So I'm gonna summarize the points because this morning I had to write another resume for another. I'm blessed with another award I'm getting in a couple of months. So I was finishing my thoughts, but I'll answer your question. Age 16, I'm a sophomore at Bowie High School. This team of 14U needs a coach, baseball. They come knocking on my door. Hey, when you're a city coach and a club coach, you're first name basis. He said, hey, coach, Eric, can you help us? Can you coach us? They're 14. They're 7th and 8th graders. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore. I'm supposed to go tell them what to do. We're about the same age. So this is 16 years of age. So I go to Guillen, start coaching. And then I'm like, I'm just going to do it because they came to me. I wasn't about to let them down. So I start coaching them, 16 years old. And then that's it. And then the next summer they come around again and again and again and again. So at this point, I want to be an engineering major at UTEP. Engineering is tops at UTEP. It's the best engineering school in the world, in my opinion. So I'm gonna be an engineer, and I'm gonna be in an office and doing projects for a week. On a weekly basis. But it was my calling. It chose me. Coaching chose me from the age of 16. I didn't choose coaching, really. It chose me, and it was one of the best picks that I've ever had because I changed my major from engineering to coaching, and I became the youngest varsity assistant back in '97. And I got hired, and I was told and scolded, by my athletic director at the time, you are not old enough to coach varsity football. Now we have 20-some-year-olds. My son's coaching was a defensive coordinator as a 26-year-old. I was told, you do not have the age or experience to coach. It's your a blank blank if you mess up. And it's your head coach for giving you a chance. That's the way it was. I started coaching. And at that point, year after year after year, I started in the boot at Bowie High School. I went to Austin, went back to Bowie, went back to Austin, and little by little, it's been adding up. Uh, all the kids that have graduated. I mean, I have one kid as an offensive coordinator in Austin, Lockhart ISD. He's asking me, I'm going to send him a link for this because he's over there. He wished me happy Father's Day this morning. He said, I know you're busy, so here's a good to go Father's Day for you guys. I want to be the first one from your ex-players to wish you happy Father's Day. He lives in the Austin area, Pflugerville, around there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went on. I said, hey, man, I'm going to send you guys a link to this. But that's what made me start coaching. Kids like him. He's an Austin kid. Not much guidance. The Bowie kids, somebody mentioned, you came to pick us up in a blue truck. If not, I don't know where I'd be. Little things like that, one by one by one by one by one. So at the age of 16, they came to get me. So that's why I say coaching chose me. I didn't pick coaching. And since then, we've been rolling. I mean, we don't lose much. We expect to win every time.
Expect to win.
And that's what, the passion that we have. And I have to get coaches with the same passion. And sometimes it's hard. But when they match us with passion, the results are real good in anything we do, whether it's coaching, teaching, or working at Buffalo Wild Wings here. If they work with a passion, this place is going to be real good. So that's what we do.
Speaking of passion, it's interesting because this is your first head coaching job here at Austin, 8 years now plus. You're one of the winningest coaches in El Paso. You've had nothing but success here at a challenging place to win at in the boot. There was an opportunity, recently, obviously the Franklin job opened up. Coach Ruben Torres took the gig, and you and I would talk about it at school, and I'd say, you're going to apply. I was nudging you all the time. And in the end, you decided that, Austin was your home and where you wanted to stay. I think it's interesting that, you continue to make that choice because of what you've been able to establish there. What is it about, being there part of that boot where you're like, what, I'm just really happy what I've been able to do, and I don't necessarily want to go to a different school, different side of town and whatnot?
First of all, congratulations to Ruben. He's a real good guy. He's a good friend of mine. We've been coaching against each other for a long time. He's going to do great things at Franklin.
Yeah.
And secondly, it is what it is, Coach Cohn. It is what it is. It's hard right now. I got 5 things I'm thinking about right now about this season. And I'd be the same way at Franklin. I'd be the same way at Pebble, at Montwood. But different sets of what I'm going to do. There's problems right now at Austin, and I have to tackle those problems. And those are unique problems. And I'm thinking, that's why I didn't apply anywhere else. I've been blessed to be asked to apply at I won't mention the schools, but because they reached out, will you apply? Thank you very much, but not at this point. Not at this point. Yeah. Because the problems we have are unique, and I think I'm made for those problems. I don't know if I'm made for a parent coming up to me and saying, hey, he's taking private lessons for the last 5 years. He deserves to start.
Yeah.
My problems are, Coach, I haven't been in my house for 3 days. I haven't eaten, unshaven, not the best hygiene. Those are the problems that I deal with. It just happened this week. A kid that I haven't had for about 1.5 years. Like, Coach, I need back in. I don't want back in. I need it. I need the structure. And we had a conversation. He's back with us.
Good.
The chance. Everybody gets a second chance,
Mm-hmm.
not a third,
Just
a second. And those are the problems that I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with a parent that wants to tell me what to do, to be very honest with you.
No.
And we do have those every now and then.
Once in a blue moon.
I want to deal with the problems that I grew up with.
We have different parents. Parents at Austin.
We have, and we don't have many parents.
No,
at Austin.
No, we don't.
The parent. I think for my first parent meeting, had 27 kids, and I had about 11 moms, 2 dads, and that was it.
Yeah.
Out of 27 kids, and we had to reach out, and because they're required, I had to reach out and make phone calls and go make home visits, and me and the coaches, and we needed their signature that their kid was going to play, because they really didn't care. But that's those are the problem. I mean, problems. Everybody has a set of problems. They're a different set of problems. My set of problems and the Austin set of problems and the Bowie set of where I've been at are different. And we're different from one another. Bowie and Austin are very different from one another. Different sets of problems. You know, but those are, I don't know if I answered your question. What was the question? You know, but
it was more like
A statement, you know.
yeah, like the reason why you stay there as
Yeah.
opposed to going to another place. And
No.
like I totally get that, right? Because again, the reason why I wanted to do any of this stuff is because I'm from Socorro. Most of the kids from
Yeah.
Socorro don't get to do the stuff that I do, right? Like they don't get to go work at ESPN. They don't get to be on the radio. They don't get to do the stuff that I got to do. So I wanted to do it. I wanted to come back here to be a little bit of a like a beacon of hope. Just you can do this stuff. Like if my goofy ass can do this, so can you, right? Like that's kind of the way that I looked at it throughout all the stuff. But obviously, the thing that I always hide from them is that there's always a lot of hard work that goes along with it, like to get this set up, the stressors of what are we going to talk about, how's the interview going to go, like all that stuff. I'm willing to deal with that because I'm wanting to show them that they can do this and they can do it much better than what I can do. So I can understand like why you would say, look, I want to stay at a place like Austin because one, these are situations that I've I don't want to say come accustomed to coming across, but I know how to handle and I know how to deal with, and I want to help out this particular sect of the community.
Yeah, and our coaches are doing something that's been proven over the last 8 years. You didn't know this, Iceman, but we're 31-6 district, 31-6.
Yeah.
District record 31-6. We have not lost more than one district game over the last 7 years. My first year, we went 2-4, got it, and from second year on,
Haven't lost.
we've only lost 1-1, 1-0, 1-1-0. The losses. So we've been 31-6, and I didn't realize it until this year.
Yeah.
Until we started putting all these things
Undefeated in
together,
district play.
and us and the coaches were like, man, so how many more have we lost? That's it. Just 6 games in the 8 years. District, not we go up against the Eldorados. Don't get me wrong, on purpose. We
I was
go.
about to say it's the bad time
No,
to
no,
mention
no.
that I was a teacher at El Dorado.
Yeah, no, hey,
that I was there at that game this year.
we get those games. We pick those games because they help us.
You need to.
If we had not gotten blasted by El Dorado,
Mhm.
we do not go 8-0
Yeah.
because the adversity we faced there, and we talked about it. And then there was the parents are there, administration is there, and here I am trying to plead with them that we're not this bad, yet we're giving up touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
And El Dorado had a special team this
Oh,
year.
they still do.
Best
this
running
coming
back
year.
in the city.
Yeah.
In probably the state.
Yeah.
Probably the
Yeah.
state.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you get offered by Alabama and Oklahoma,
You're pretty damn good.
You're not
Yeah.
that bad.
Mhm.
But we pick those games, and sometimes when we pick them, we're like, what did we just do? Because I told our ADs, give me the toughest game you can. I wanted a Del Valle, I wanted an El Dorado, I wanted a Americas, a Pep, but we're 4A. I want a 6A team. But they won't give me a 6A team. And don't get me wrong, I don't know if we can beat them. But they're gonna get us ready for 4A district play. They're gonna get us ready when we play the Isleta. If we don't get blasted by El Dorado, we don't beat Isleta this year. We beat them by 1 point. We don't beat Riverside. We got them 42-0.
Yeah. You shut them
We
down.
don't do that if we don't get blasted by El Dorado. And it's hard to explain that to people.
Because it's a motivator, right? Like
Yes.
you don't want to feel that feeling.
It's a
in those
motivator,
losses.
and it's an evaluator too, because some of the kids that played against El Dorado did not play much the rest of the year because they proved to me what they were going to do in adverse times. So we have to make changes. That's why we need those. Everybody's happy when we win. Everybody looks good.
That's where you
When we
learn the
win.
most is whenever
Yes.
you lose.
It's when you lose. It's when it's not going good. That's the whole meaning of adversity.
Mhm.
Integrity. What are you going to do when things go bad? What are you going to do? And that's the story of life. What are you going to do when you don't have enough money for a mortgage payment?
Sure.
Are you going to go out and steal, or are you going to go out and try and get an honest job and try and pay that mortgage payment? It's extra work, not cheap work, not crooked work. It's just extra work that we have to do after the El Dorado game to fix it, to go 8-0 in district.
It's funny. You don't know this, but I learned probably about 5 or 6 years ago to never doubt Eric in a big game, because he and I had a sit down. It was for the district championship, I think, right at Burgess. Burgess had the kid that was an amazing running back that then ended up going to Mizzou. And they were the prohibited favorite. And Eric comes up to me and, I'm getting my questions for him ready for football Friday night. That's the game I was given. It was the game of the week. And he said to me, honestly, who do you like? And I said, well, I was asked to write a story about the game, and I'm choosing Burgess. And he looked at me, and he said to me, we're going to prove you otherwise. So after the game, after they had whooped Burgess' ass, right? Channel 7's there, the principal's there. He's got all the kids around. He looks at me, and he sees me in the face. He goes, you were wrong. Sorry about that. I was like, you were wrong. And he tells me, and he busts my balls. That was pretty
Good.
funny. Remember that?
Good.
And you know what?
How dare you
How
pick
dare
against
me.
your friend?
And
Yeah,
ever
because
picked up against you again? Ever.
You
Never.
had the mic and the questions ready for the Burgess side, not for us.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, look, dude. I admitted I was wrong. I goofed.
They
and
even had the trophy.
They did.
They had the
did.
trophy.
They did. That was impressive.
You had the questions, and they had 3 Division One signees.
Yeah, you guys.
They had
you guys
Marenko,
shut them all
who's
down.
now at Wake Forest, I believe.
Yeah.
He went from New Mexico to Kansas State to Wake Forest on the portal. He'll start at Wake Forest. They had Jones, who's at Mizzou right now, and they had a third, which I can't remember, and we were Austin. That's
right.
it. That's all we had.
Right.
And we had a kid suspended for that game because a key kid suspended for. You didn't know this.
No.
We had a key kid suspended for that game. Our kicker had to play safety. You didn't know that.
I
Our
didn't.
kicker had to play safety.
No, I
Our
didn't know.
quarterback had to play safety because we were
Yeah.
short, and it was Coach Rutledge, who's now one of our bosses,
Yes.
on that side with the trophy in his hands, and we beat him 20-3,
Yeah, I remember
20-3,
Yeah.
and I was pissed off
that you allowed 3
because we
points.
allowed three points. I wanted the shutout, and I told the guys we are gonna shut these guys out. We're gonna shut them out, and nobody believes us. We are gonna shut them out, and we gave up a field goal. And
Yeah,
I
I
was
remember
not very
that.
happy.
I picked you this year against Riverside.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. No, the hell did I did? I did that game. I did that game, and
You know
I
what?
picked you.
This is what we're not gonna live in the past. I'm gonna make sure, Brandon, this year, I'm gonna make sure that I know all your picks before the games are started.
Yeah.
So whenever we do
Nobody
this
picked
again,
us.
You know what? Baloney. First of all, I believed you could shut that kid down, the quarterback, the guy,
Wow,
the
he's
Division One
special.
prospect.
Our kids did a
He
great
had
job.
He had one big run that whole game,
What is big to you?
like 30. What was it? 30 yards?
14.
14 yards.
14
That's
yards.
it.
Yes.
Looked like it was bigger than that.
Yes.
But anyways,
Because he went around across the field. So he did about 45 yards across and 14 up. And
he was literally like the following week. Like a guy had a Sleda. I think I covered that game. He had like 200 yards.
no, he scored 50 touchdowns this year.
Oh my
50,
God.
5-0. 27 on the ground and 23 passing. That's amazing. Wow.
Mhm.
And he did it in 9 games when you look at it because he didn't get anything against us.
Yeah, he didn't.
You
That
know,
was,
when-
impressive.
when
That was
you-
cool.
I mean, but it was amazing. I mean, he'll be back for 2 more years.
Yeah,
So
he's
he was
good.
only a sophomore.
He's good.
And he's special. But those are the games I love. I mean, I don't like the other games. I enjoy every game. Going back to the question, I enjoy every game, but I love the high stakes, the high adversities. I can't wait for the El Dorado game. I just can't wait because I want to know how my kids are going to react. Some are going to punk out,
yeah.
and I want to know who they are. I can't ask them, hey, are you going to punk out? Are you going to punk out? Are you going to punk out? I need to see it. But that's I can't wait for that game. We're going to play more than likely at the SAC 2 at the new stadium where the fans are right on top of us, the brand new stadium
Against Eldo this
against
year.
Aldo.
Okay.
We play over there, so I'm asking those guys to kind of set us up in the number 2 in the new stadium so that the kids can see it. So that the parents can be yelling at us. And
How about Canutillo? You play Canutillo again?
no, we only have 2 by pre-district.
Okay, because it's a bunch of because
It's
they're
8
expanding for A, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So we have El Paso. That's
of
non-negotiable.
course.
That's
That's
the claw game, and then we got Aldo, and then we start district
first game of the year is at Austin. The
at
claw
Austin.
game?
The claw.
Okay, I know which game.
I know you're
we'll
gonna
ask for.
go against us, but hey, you can do
What
that.
do you mean I'm going to go against you? I never choose El Paso High. Are you crazy?
Again,
Did
again,
I ever
we're-
choose El
we're-
Paso High over Austin?
we're gonna start keeping track here because it
Yes.
feels like a lot of backtracking to me
So-
from the Iceman right now.
I was like, hey, our assistant basketball coach, picking against us. You know, he's one of ours, and he's picking against us. You know?
Brandon,
And I can evaluate him at the end of the year. You know,
He tells me my first district game ever at Irvin, we got our tails kicked. He tells me, boy, you guys lost by a lot of points. I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you were there to witness it. I told him,
Yeah.
you know.
I'd be walking down the hall every day. How's it feel?
Yeah, no, he definitely is. You know, I was like, well, we beat him. I think we beat him. Well, we beat Bowie. We were the only team that beat Bowie at home. That was cool, though. That was fun. I was like, hey, guess what? We beat Bowie. You were there.
and the Bowie coach is one of my ex-players.
We beat
Okay.
the crap out of Bowie.
Yes,
That
I
felt
let
so
him know
good.
too.
That
I let him
felt
know.
so good, man.
Two of the Bowie coaches are my ex-players.
Yeah.
The ones you went up against. And I let him know.
Nice guy.
I let him know. Hey,
Of course, they got us, unfortunately, the last game of the season by a friggin' point
yeah, and he let me know too.
at La Bowie. That pissed me off.
He let me know
Yeah,
of
that
that
pissed
game
me
too.
off. That
You know,
pissed me
like
off.
he did tell me we're gonna get him next time, coach.
They
We're
did
gonna get
by
him
a
next
point.
time.
By
Yeah.
a point. Damn it. Oh, well.
See, I actually have a little background in coaching in mind. Like whenever I was 19 years old, like a very similar story, I was asked by my niece to coach her 4th and 5th grade girls basketball team. I'm like 19 years old. I don't know anything about coaching, but I'm going to take this whole thing on, right? The first year we were there, we win 0 games because I'm like, let's just get better because I need to teach them what dribbling was. Like, this is how bad
Fundamentals.
they were, right? So let's just be competitive in games. We're losing games like 3-2. We're not putting up points, man. We're playing defense. It's old, Glory Road, fundamental defensive basketball, baby. That's what we're going to be playing right here, right? But we get into the playoffs and we win 2 games. We get into the championship game. We lose the damn championship game by a single point, and that's what makes me come back the next season. The next season, we make it all the way back to the championship game, and we lose again by a damn single
Oh,
point.
man.
And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, and again, Brandon knows better than most. I'm like a robot, man. I don't get emotions. I don't get anything like that. Watching these little girls cry, I'm sitting over here like, God bless it. Now am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to deal with this stuff? So seeing people that have done coaching for like long term, dealing through the highs and the lows, losing those games by 1 point that just a free throw, one small thing. Whenever you lose those ones coming back from that, what is it in you that makes you decide we need to bounce back from this? Watching your team get steamrolled by a team like El Dorado. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it that way, but but watching your team get steamrolled by a team like El
was a
Dorado.
nice way to say it. That was a nice way to say it.
What's it like for you knowing that you've got to like get these guys' motivation back?
I'm defensive minded. I get offended when they put 60 on us. It's humiliating to me to allow more than 30 points. 30, 20 in the 20s. I'm driving home at, like where do we go wrong when we allow 28? To give up 60, it was very humiliating. But they needed to do that so that I could pick out how we're going to fix it. I don't think we gave up more than, we let up put 35 on us, and that was the high point. That was it. That was, and they were good. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
But the defense, I'm defensive minded. I've always been defensive minded. Going back to your basketball team, if you coach any sport, being basketball, and you teach them how to play a very, very good man-to-man and a little bit of a zone, you're going to win a lot of games. Even if you say, hey, just on offense, just get the ball in the hoop. But on defense, you are going to play defense. You might win 18-16, but you're going to win some games. That's the Harper way. That's the Don Haskins way. That's that school of basketball. In our game, we ball control and play defense. On that El Dorado game, we did not do either one. We could not establish either one. And my challenge was to come back and establish the running game and the defensive game. So coaching to me is all about defense and scoring one more point than the other. When going back to that 20-3 game, the previous year we had beat them 7-6, for another share of the district championship, 7-6, and a couple of years back, I was tasked by my wife, who's right here next to me, of coaching a softball team for my daughter, because we were gonna have a softball team, and my daughter was 8 years old, and we were left without a coach for reasons that I don't want to say, but those reasons exist in club ball. So we're like, now what do? We don't have a coach. And we got the girls here, and then my wife said, he will coach, and I'm like, how am I going to coach if I'm a football coordinator at the time? And now and we had to practice the next Monday, and we won. in I don't know how many years we won because of defense. I would spend out of the 2 to 4 hours. Yes, I did go 4 hours because it's club team, so we don't have to abide by the UIL rules.
Yeah.
I would spend about 75% on defense. Defense. How to turn a double play. They were. I mean, I would scold them and yell at them and all that, and they were 8 years old, girls, and trust me, out of that team, about 7 to 8 out of the 10, 11 went on to play Division 1 or 2 softball.
Wow.
They just graduated the last couple of years. My daughter just graduated last year, but it's defense.
Mhm.
It's a mindset of defense because you're gonna have to defend your whole life, and again, they call me Courtney. My kids call it's Courtney, Dad. Come on, you are gonna have to defend your whole life. You defend on how to keep a good household. You defend. It's as soon as I walk into the house, I'm not the head coach. My wife takes over the defense. There, it's we defend.
Yeah.
We defend to win. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? But it's my mindset is defense. It'll be defense. It'll with all these new offensive masterminds, I respect them and I love watching them, but I love even more stopping them. I love going up against these high flying Riversides and Isletas and all that. And my job is to bring them down to earth. And that's a challenge every single week. Every week.
I love that mindset. My job is to just ruin their day.
Exactly. Yes. And it's and I I'm happy for the kids, but until we win a championship, my routine is very stable. I go home to my wife, we go out to eat if we're up for it. If not, this is my 28th year. So she's been with me since day one. And if she's up for it, we go eat. And if not, we stay home and we eat. We watch the shows and we go to sleep. And that's a great day for me. That's a great day for me. And if we want to celebrate, and we go celebrate. They know we have a meeting point. When we win championships, they know us. They expect us there. We put the trophy in the middle of the table. We've done it 4 times in the last 8 years because we won 4 championships in 8 years. And we go celebrate. And if not, then we celebrate. But we do that. It's a great time. It's a great time. The fall is a great time.
And Brandon, during his one season of coaching, won 4 championships as well. It's insane.
And when his one season, he went back to back.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember telling him in the preseason,
to back.
I said, "What do you think about me coaching basketball?" And he's like, "Oh man, well, it's a lot of work, and good luck, Iceman."
And, hey, but he dressed up.
Yeah,
he took a coat and a tie, and he went to work.
I actually did it. Can you believe that?
Yeah, he went to.
So you went the full Don Haskins, like we're gonna wear a suit.
Oh, yeah.
No clip on.
Oh,
Was it a clip on?
It had to be a
It
clip
was
on.
a wraparound.
Yeah.
No, it
I
had
did
to be a
that.
clip on. I can tell you don't know how to tie a tie.
I sure do. The half Windsor not. Yes, I do.
Should
You
have
gotta do a full one.
Should have gotten a clip on.
Yeah,
like
you're
the
right.
Bear.
Yeah, I should have gotten a clip
Yeah.
on, but I wore a suit and tie many times.
Yes.
Many times.
Did you ever rip the tie off and throw it onto the ground like the Bears?
I got upset, a few times, but I tried to keep the tie on at least.
So for me, like I've always wanted to go into some sort of coaching. I've been actually helping out my kids with their basketball teams. Basketball is always my sport, right? Like that's the one that I'm good at. I'm the same way though, where we're going to focus in on defense, which is always weird for people whenever they hear that my name is Michael. I was born on Michael Jordan's birthday, and they always expect, okay, we're going to have this high flying offense thing. No, dude, we're playing defense. We're going to have a suffocating man defense with a suffocating zone defense, and we're not going to like if the score is 3-2. At the end of the game, I'm a happy guy. As long as we're the one that's out on top, I'm happy with that, right? I could only imagine Brandon the Iceman Cohn's basketball style, trying to be something more George Gervin, finger rolls, going all over here. Brandon wants a game 197 to 185. Is that the way that you wanted to coach it, Brandon?
I mean, yeah, I love offense. I mean, but I agree, defense is very, very important. It was a very humbling experience.
Now I feel like we sound old.
Well, yeah, we are a little old, but I mean, the cool thing was that, Eric was there, athletic coordinator at Austin, and, seeing him quite a bit on the road or, at home, and, just eyes on me and eyes on the team. That was interesting. I mean, man, I told you, who'd have freaking thought I'd be a coach? Not in a million years,
Hey.
And now you're a multi-championship time coach.
Back to back.
Back to back
Hey,
to
no
back.
thing without the ring.
In 1 year.
Ain't no thing without the ring, you know.
Yeah, no, but it's we're all in this for the love of sports.
Mhm.
You're sitting there, he's sitting here. We love sports, and we just, like I tell my players, yeah, because right now half of our team that we won a championship, half of our team wants to be a coach because they think it's a little bit easy.
Yeah,
a
right.
little
Good
easy.
luck with that.
And
Easy. Yeah,
you
right.
know, because I asked him, what's going to be your major? Coaching, teaching.
Mm.
I was going coaching, teaching, coaching. What happened to the pre-engineering and pre-med and law? No, they all want to be coaches, especially the ones that just graduated, because we have 4 going on to play at the next level, and they all want to be coaches. They all want to be coaches, and because of the love of the game. I mean, so it doesn't matter where you are, the love of the game. If you love the game, you don't work a day in your life.
No, it's true.
You do not work a day in your life. I mean, we're getting. I have to stand back, pinch myself, to kind of realize that I'm getting paid for what I'm doing. You know, and you got paid for back-to-back championships
They
in
did.
basketball.
They
You
did.
know,
Back to
and
back
it's
to back.
back-to-back. But it's hard. It's hard, but it's very rewarding. Very rewarding. From here to softball. I mean, in softball, we started traveling to Dallas, to here, to Phoenix, to this, winning. And the baseball teams when I was 16, 17, 18. And that's what made me keep on coaching too, because we started winning. So I knew that I had some kind of formula, you know, and it had to do with discipline and structure. And those are the 2 things I go by when I hire a head coach, you know, which we're about to hire somebody in the next couple of weeks. I look at that and I don't hide it. If you bring discipline and structure, you know, and sometimes I don't even master it myself at home. I don't. I'm kick myself because I'm like, man, I harp on this and that, and sometimes I don't even have it. My wife has a hard time getting me to do things. Hey, did you already do this? Because I asked you about 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, no.
Is this the first time he's ever admitted it?
Yeah, you know, but like I said, when I come home, as soon as I open the door, I'm not the head coach anymore. So I guess discipline and structure move on to her. You see, and she's the one that has to tell me, "Hey, did you already throw the trash? Please throw away the trash. You know, please,
Yeah.
please. Did you already fix this? Did you already do this? Did you already bolt this? You know, but it's structure and discipline go to her as soon as I go into. I'm not the head coach anymore, and I like that. I like that. She's a head coach at home, you know, and she dictates what we do, and I like that. I like that. You know, and yes, ma'am, you got it.
That's the way to do it.
Whatever you want. You know, it is what it is, and that's the way I am. Huh? Oh, you do get it every day, every day. Hey, no, but
That's what I'm saying. This is like I can see the way her eyes are lighting up. She's like, now I got this on record. I can have this.
you know, she's an assistant principal right now,
Mhm.
so she's both a boss at work and boss at home. As soon as I get home, I'm a servant. You know, so that's it's balance.
There we go.
It is balance. It's
The
balance.
yin, the yin and the yang. It's all about finding that balance.
Yes.
I love it. I love that we you know, I was thinking we're going to have Eric on for like 20 minutes. You've been here almost an hour. I love it. You know, my buddy and I can kibitz, can't we?
No.
Kibitz
Well,
is Yiddish for
hey,
bullshit. By the way.
one. You got the gift of gab.
Well,
Well, I don't.
you ain't far behind me, buddy.
You,
Come on
my,
now.
my daughter is a master of communicating. She has a smooth voice. She can grab your attention. She's great at that, and I learned from her. My son has his own way of communicating, very subtle but private, but direct, and I learned from him. My wife speaks beautifully and communicates beautifully in English and Spanish. I got interviewed by Telemundo a couple of years ago, and as beaner as I am, I ran out of Spanish because I speak barrio Spanish, and I could not. I was like staring at the camera like this, and you know, my wife communicates beautifully in English and Spanish. I listen to her, and I wish I was her when it comes to communicating. But it's, I guess, what I'm saying is communication is key in this profession. Is key, is very very key, and I learned from the best on how to communicate. She doesn't know it, but I pick her what she says and what she does, and every now and then she says, "Hey, can I read this to you?" Yes, she reads it to me, and I'm like, "Damn, that was good." So I steal a couple of words from her, and I put it in my letters and my emails and my communication, you know, transcripts, I guess we can call it, into other people. But she doesn't know that. But so I'm admitting a lot of stuff to her right now.
I like it.
I will say it's Father's Day weekend. Why are we getting like she had Mother's Day weekend a couple
No,
months like
no.
like this is your weekend now. Now I feel like she's got to say good things about you.
We're still gonna go eat right now wherever she wants to. Okay, we might stay here. I'm looking at the wings and fries, and then I was getting turned on by this, and then I see Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, that's
So
what we got upset
So I
too.
need the fire and ice special right here.
Yeah.
Oh, we've always got
we got a
all
good nosh here.
all the different fire and ice specials here. We got the salads. David always loves the salads here. We got all the different wings. We got you. Don't worry. You're gonna stay here.
We also Tip and I share the sampler, which is phenomenal.
Well, I'm gonna get my wife some whatever she wants if she wants to stay here, and then a cold one, and then we'll be good to go for the. Oh, we're celebrating Father's Day tonight,
Oh,
as a matter of fact, not tomorrow.
There you go. There you go. As a matter of fact, I got my Father's Day gift yesterday, which is a bourbon smoker. Because I'm not sure if you can tell by my voice, I drink a lot of alcohol. That's a joke, just so we're clear. But like I like bourbons and whiskeys and stuff like that. So I got a little smoker to make like my old school old fashions and stuff like that. I'm going to try that out this weekend, as a matter of fact, tonight as well. So I'm super
That's
excited
awesome.
about that.
No, we celebrate on Saturday nights for obvious reasons, and maybe not so obvious.
I will say, not to him.
You just mentioned a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
now.
No.
The family likes to have fun,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to get up the next day early, so we do Saturday nights in our celebrations, and that way Sunday they can recover.
And libations are a big part of it.
The what? I'm
The
sorry.
libations are a big
Yes.
part of it.
Yes, and that way we used to do Sundays when we were 20 years younger. Everybody was 20 years younger. Can't do that anymore.
I've still never had a hangover, and I'm proud of that fact that I've never had a hangover, and I'm not risking it anymore. Like now that I'm in my 40s, I'm not drinking on Sundays the way that I used to. Football season's there. The Dallas Cowboys are going to disappoint me. I know it's going to happen. I'm just not going to drink myself into a stupor anymore because I'm maturing, Brandon.
You need to mature. You need to mature. You need to not have faith anymore. I told you that.
And I don't drink alcohol. I don't. But I've learned not to judge. Again, something else I've learned from my wife, and I had a hard time years and years and years ago, but I've learned not to judge other people around me that are drinking, including, my kids are old enough to drink. As long as they do it responsibly, I'm good. And but I'm the driver. I am the driver, the designated driver for my boss over here, and I love doing that. But I don't judge. You guys hit a home run every Friday night, Saturday night. Celebrate whatever you're going to celebrate every weekend.
No, I can't do that no more either. I'm
Oh,
41.
yeah.
We're not celebrating anything anymore. It's birthdays and the occasional Father's Day thing, and it'll be like one more drink, and that'll be the way that it goes. I think Brandon used to see like whenever we first started Fire and Ice, it was like, yeah, let's go over and have some more fun, and now it's I think we're okay.
Yeah.
I think after a beer we're good.
Yeah, exactly. One and done.
The way
One
it
and
should
done.
be. But I'm thinking about this, right? Because like I got my kids over here, they're hanging out, they're doing their thing. Whenever they get older, like what's the more rewarding part? Is it watching them at this young age, or is it being able to have like those conversations, like deeper conversations now that they're adults?
It's everything.
All of it.
We miss that. Me and my wife talk about that. We miss my son and my daughter, that they depended on us. Now it's very gratifying when they don't depend on us.
Mhm.
At least we communicate. We're very close with our kids. They live away from us. My son bought a house. My daughter claimed a bedroom there, so it's their sisters living together, and they still preload on us every now and then for meals. But most of the week,
way it should be.
Yes, most of the week they manage. So your kids are gonna look up to you, and that's what we enjoy a lot more. We were blessed, and I do mean blessed, to have both of our kids graduate from college. One of them a lot easier than the other, but my daughter ended up with a degree a month ago from Eastern New Mexico after playing softball. And again, not to tangent and not to go onto my ADHD, but the only reason, and she'll be the first one to admit it to you, the only reason she graduated from college because of softball. There you go again. Athletics, sports.
Hold
That's
you
the only,
accountable.
and my wife told me something very interesting a month ago. She said, I don't think she would have had a hard time, and I'm rephrasing, she would have had a hard time graduating from high school if it wasn't for softball, because she's just, school was not something for her. I think she would have been okay with playing. Hey, am I graduating? Yes or no? I'll get my GED later, all right, as long as I play. I don't know. I mean, it didn't happen. She graduated from college. But the most gratifying part is looking at them, and then in about 10 years, being, 20 something and 17, 18, 19, and then you still sit down together and you still talk.
Mhm.
Now about dad, I need a car. I don't like my car. Dad, instead of, hey dad, can I have some shoes? It's now dad. What do you think if I sell my house in 2 years
Mhm.
and I rent it and I buy another one? You're still talking about things.
See, I was
with
about to
them.
tell you the youngest one right there. You see him looking over here. We changed the headlight. I upgraded the lights on my Mustang yesterday, and for the last couple of weeks, he's been asking me if he could learn how to drive that Mustang.
Yeah?
You're 8. No,
Yeah. Is it stick?
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it should be. Come on.
We learned how to drive stick because we had to. Back. Hey, you want that car? It's yours.
So-
1979 Pinto. Standard though. You gotta learn how to drive it if you want it.
That's not
So
easy.
Yeah.
what I learned on was 3 in the Tree.
Yes.
If you learn how to drive that one, you could drive anything. That
Mhm.
that thing, and then
I-
we had a mobile home business. We had to move mobile homes, so driving the big rig and doing all that stuff too. That's what I learned how to drive on.
Oh,
There ain't nothing in this world I can't drive.
I did a 3 on the tree transporting my baseball team when I was 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
I put him in the back. Illegal as shit. Now I put him in the back. 15 because no parents would take the kids to the games. So I said, okay, as soon as we got to 9, 10, 11, jump on the back. My brother-in-law would let me borrow his 57 Chevy,
Mhm.
3 on the tree, and we would, like I said, thankfully nothing ever happened. But I used to put him in the back and go to Roger Brown, go to Lamka, which is Cloudview now, Cloudview Park over here, go to the Northeast Tobin in a truck with the kids in the back. Nobody ever
Different
stopped
times.
me.
Different times, man.
Nobody
we
ever
always got to
stopped
ride
me.
in the back of the truck.
Yeah,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then later it became my blue truck and then the brown truck and in the back of the truck. Now I would not let anybody do that. Yet I was doing 60 miles an hour on I-10 with those, with the kids in the back. Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. And thankfully, nothing ever happened. Those kids are now living in San Diego, Maryland, and they every now and then they text me. And remember when you used to take us back of the truck? That was illegal. Yes, it was. That was
You were 16. You were learning then
16,
too.
17, 18. Yes, I was, different times, like the gentleman said,
Different times.
different times, but fun times. Fun because nothing bad ever happened. But they learned. But no, it's everything in our lives revolves around athletics when it comes to my kids and me. But going back to your kids, you got to enjoy that. You have to enjoy that.
Oh yeah.
You have to enjoy yours, okay? Because they're gonna be grown up, and there's a statistic that I read a couple of weeks that almost 90% of the time that you're gonna spend with your kids are up until the age they're 18.
Mhm.
After that, it's only 10% of your lifetime. And we see that now. We saw him yesterday, day before, and that's it. We might see him today, might not, might see him only because it's Father's Day. So my son wants to go to the driving range because he picked up golf last week. Now he thinks that he can go, 2 under, but he said he's hooked on it. So he wants to go to the driving range, driving only. We're not ready for the 40 over, okay, for the 35 or 40 over. But we're gonna go to driving range tomorrow in the nice 107-degree heat.
That sounds like a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. The heat. Ay, ay,
Yeah,
ay.
no, it's part of El Paso. The heat, dry heat. We've been in Houston and Dallas and That's 100 with softball again.
Mhm.
Traveling, it's 100-degree with 97% humidity.
You can keep it.
Yes, exactly.
This is why I live here.
we got. People were commenting on Coldplay last night that it's a different. People that drove over from Dallas and Houston that they didn't mind this weather because it's 105 dry heat, so it felt a lot better than 105.
See, people didn't
Yeah.
believe me. I was stationed in North Carolina whenever I was in the Air Force, and then I came over to Vegas to do a TDY. Vegas clearly not going to have as much humidity as North Carolina has. Vegas was a lot hotter than North Carolina, but it felt so much better. It just wasn't sticky and muggy or any of that other stuff. So I could understand the people coming to watch Coldplay yesterday and today. Also, shout out to Coldplay for selling out 2 concerts in El Paso. The way that they were able to sell them out that way. And yeah, like just going and dealing with all that heat. I wouldn't be out there in 105-degree temperature. I don't care if it's dry or humid or not. I'm not going to be out there.
Yeah.
But
You would melt.
congrats to them.
You would melt. And there's another show tonight. I'm excited about
Another
it.
show, another good show. I heard.
That's why I heard.
My wife told me it was a good show. It's a good show. We kick ourselves for not going. We kind of kicked ourselves for not going yesterday.
I mean, you could probably there might be some scalp tickets out there somewhere.
Yeah, but we have a celebration tonight.
Ah, that's right. There's a little celebration happening tonight.
Hey,
You gotta know about that one.
But who knows? We might do both. You never know. You never know.
Hey, what better way to celebrate Coldplay and Father's Day?
Now, later in life, we seem to do things on the go. Like we might get out of town in the next couple of weeks. We haven't even planned it or anything. We haven't. So.
All right, Coach. Well, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show today. It flew by. I know you stayed a little bit longer than at least about maybe what Brandon told you. I don't know. Maybe it's his fault.
He said 20 minutes.
20 minutes. I told him.
Well, just three times the 20 minutes. It's fine.
That's all.
But I'd love to get you on the show again as the football season starts. That way we can kind of talk a little more about the upcoming season that would be here at Buffalo Wild Wings as we are.
Just have Coldplay there as well.
Yeah, in order to fix the UTEP Miners, all we have to do is just have Coldplay every weekend.
Yeah.
I think that would kind of drive down the value of Coldplay, though. That's what makes them special. They show up once in a blue moon here in El Paso. But nonetheless, thank you once again, Coach, for coming on out here to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Thank you, guys.
665 Sunland
Thank
Park
you.
Drive. We will see you all next week.
That was great. We enjoyed it.